Now begins the recitation of the revelation word of the divine avataric master, Paramasaptana Adida Samraj. This is, there is no God but reality itself. From the Dawn Horse Testament. There is only real accausal God. Real accausal God is reality. Real accausal God is the only reality. There is only reality. Reality is real accausal God. Reality, and not what is merely myth, imagination, conventional belief, or philosophical idea, is real accausal God. Reality itself is divine. Reality is conditionally apparent, but always only absolutely existing. Reality is all there is, and all that is, and even all in all that merely appears to be. Reality is one, only, indivisible, non-separate, intrinsically egoless, self-existing, self-radiant, always already freestanding and prior to any and every possible point of view, and indestructible. Reality is the self-nature, self-condition, source condition, and self-state of the world, the body, the mind, and separate self-consciousness. Reality is conscious light, which is consciousness itself and energy itself, one and indivisible. Conscious light is the totality of apparent world, body, mind, and separate self-consciousness, one and indivisible. Reality is. Reality is that which is. Whatever it appears to be, reality is what is. Reality is real accausal God. Real accausal God is what is. There is no God but reality itself. Whatever it is, reality is all there is. Reality itself is always already prior to any and every point of view, in time or space-time. Reality itself is always already prior to anything and all that apparently arises. Reality itself is not the relation of anything that apparently arises. There is not anything that arises or ever possibly could arise in relation to reality itself. There is no possible point of view standing toward or facing reality itself. Relative or in relation to reality itself, there is no point of view, no thing, no other, no relation. Reality itself is all there is. Reality itself, as the self-nature, self-condition, source condition, and self-state of all in all, is everything and everyone that appears to be. Whatever apparently arises as separate, related, greater or lesser, other or different is only reality itself, always already prior to separateness, relatedness, otherness, and difference. Therefore, there is no separateness, no relatedness, no greater or lesser other, and no difference. Notwithstanding whatever is conditionally experienced, or known or believed, reality is always and already. Only reality is real accausal God. Reality is necessarily truth. only truth is real, a causal God. Real, a causal God is reality and truth. Real, a causal God is the God of reality and truth. Real, a causal God is the God that is reality and truth. Reality and truth is that which is always already the case. Real, a causal God is that which is always already the case. Therefore, real, a causal God need not be sought. Real, a causal God is only avoided by any kind of seeking. To seek is to fail to admit and to realize real, a causal God, or that which is always already the case. Real, a causal God is realized only by self-locating that which is always already the case. To self-locate that which is always already the case is to realize non-separation and non-differentiation from that which is always already the case. To self-locate and thus and thereby to realize that which is always already the case is to transcend the ego I and even all that is merely conditional, limited, temporal, spatial, other, separate, or different. To self-locate and thus and thereby to realize that which is always already the case is merely inherently and inherently perfectly to be that which is always already the case. To be that which is always already the case is perfectly prior to the ego I and all conditions, to be reality and truth. To be reality and truth is perfectly prior to the ego I and all conditions, to be real, a causal God, as opposed to that which is otherwise and by myth and error sought as God. Therefore, real, a causal God is not other, separate, or different. Real, a causal God, or the all-causal divine person, which is reality or truth, or that which is always already the case, is always already inherently and inherently perfectly prior to the who, the what, the that, the where, the when, the how, and the why, that is, by conditional experience or conditional knowledge or conditional belief, presumed to be really and only other, separate, or different. Therefore, real, a causal God is always already prior to the ego I. Indeed, real, a causal God is always already prior to each and every conditionally attained experience or form of knowledge or form of belief. Reality itself is the only real, a causal God. Reality itself is that which is always already the one and only case. Reality itself is necessarily one only and indivisible. Reality itself is inherently one or non-dual and not two or divisible and opposed to itself. Reality itself is not one of a pair. Reality itself is not characterized by the inherently dualistic relationship of cause and effect. Reality itself is characterized by the inherently non-dualistic equation of identity and non-difference. Reality itself is that in which both cause and effect arise as merely apparent modifications of itself. Reality itself is not realized via the inherently dualistic relationship of subject and object. Reality itself is realized as the inherently non-dualistic condition of intrinsically egoless identity and inherently objectless non-difference. Da. This is. There is no God but reality itself. From the Dawn Horse Testament. Here ends the recitation of the revelation word of the divine avataric master, Paramasaptana, Adida Samraj.